Flashing lights in the dark, barracks on up. Engines scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire, chasing glory through the chaos of desire. Your TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. The digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Strap me in, fuel me with untamed speed. Data in the storm, all the rush I need. Glitches on the edge, chaos in the stream. Sim racing paradise, unraveling the sea. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Flashing lights in the dark, barracks on up. Engines scream till the wild hearts succumb. Virtual roads where the asphalt sweat fire, chasing glory through the chaos of desire. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. The digital warriors, no face, just names. Science going for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. Roaring engines, pixels bursting like flames. Digital warriors, no face, just names. Tires calling for the sweet finish line. Sweat soaked battles outside space and time. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. Flag to flag, every moment extreme. No TV, we're living the dream. same speed. Data in the storm, all the rush I need. Glitches on the edge, chaos in the stream. Sim racing paradise, unraveling the sea. No TV burning in my veins tonight. Wheels spin, pixels ignite the fight. It's like a touch the wheel louder to the range. Fuel burns and glow with the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling, the fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats round and engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul.
And welcome back to Nerd TV for the OTSS Select Series live on Nerd TV, streaming on YouTube and Twitch. As we get the countdown to green started, presented by yours truly, Icon Apparel Company here, as we are the inaugural season for the Off Throttle Sim Series Select Series. This time going to be race number 1 live from Charlotte Motor Speedway, where they got 24 degrees of banking in the corners, 5 degrees of banking on the straightaways. And here is your weather and series breakdown. Open setups, 3 sets of tires and pits, and also 3 green-white checkered attempts. There's your weather on the bottom of that. Air temp 73 degrees, track 106. Winds coming at you from the northeast at 11 miles an hour. Partly cloudy, so it's windy. It is a triple digit degree of temp on the track, so it's going to be slick on these trucks. And let's get to it. This is Jeremy Stanley, aka Jay Swifty, and back in the booth to start off 2026. Jason Rockefeller out of nowhere. What's going on, dude?
I'm doing good, man. I'm ready to get back at it. It feels like the first day of school, except this time it's been like a year instead of like an entire 2 months worth of a summer break. So I'm ready to get back at it. I'm glad to be back home with you guys, with obviously Dustin behind the scenes, and you, Jeremy. It should be a really fun season. I'm looking forward to it. I know we've seen some of these guys' faces in the past before, but brand new league coming to Nerd TV. I'm ready to see what it's all about.
Yes, sir. We got just over 2 minutes left in this practice session, and we're going to learn some drivers' numbers. You're going to see some familiar ones from previous seasons with us, and it's going to be a very large field here. I have to scroll through the driver list. It looks like probably 30 entries without me glancing at the actual numbers. So large field for 26, so very close to 30 here tonight to start off the season. Like I said, open setups, 120 laps here. That's 180 miles. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this as well. We got new fancy graphics. Dustin Loxton, our producer, thank you so much for... He likes to thank me for all the credit he's done behind the scene, or that I've done, but he's done it all. He's done it all. I've just done some numbers and a couple of things. So that's Dustin right there. He's got this. Look, he's such a big ego. He's got twice the camera size. Look at this guy over here, and we're gonna have a lot of fun here tonight. I can't wait to get this thing going. Every Tuesday, live here, 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 Central. Tune in, subscribe if you haven't done so to our Twitch and YouTube. And Jason, we got 1 minute remaining left, and these boys are going qualifying for the first time.
Yeah, and obviously Charlotte Motor Speedway is a really interesting track, compared to, your normal cookie-cutter D-shaped tri-oval racetracks. This track, it's really bumpy, and especially with the new iRacing rescans, this track in the corners, you kind of just like settle it down into the corner, almost like a Dover, if you would say. Going into 3, going into 1, the car just kind of goes over the little bumps once it gets into the bank in turn 1 and turn 3. Let the truck unload down into the corner. You can get really tight on corner exits. So the big thing I think that's going to be with this race here tonight, Jeremy, is that bottom right there. On that blue line, you see some of these guys getting ready for qualifying. Their practice is wrapping up here just in less than 20 seconds. That blue line is key. Everybody used to know it back in the day as the Harvicking line back at Atlanta before they did the reconfiguration. Then Charlotte Motor Speedway a few years ago, they started to adapt that white color, white type line. So there's a whole lot of grip down there. If you can get those left sides on that paint, especially in 3 and 4 where you can get really tight, your truck's going to handle pretty well in the corners here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, there is a multi-groove surface aspect when it comes to Charlotte, but you are right there. If you can get that truck hooked up at the bottom for the long haul of the race, you're setting up for success here tonight. Here's the checker flag is out. Mr. What do we call him? Late Larry, Premature Patrick, whatever our nickname might throw out this season. He's throwing the flag, signaling qualifying. So we're going to get our cameras off your screens. We're going to go on board with some of the fastest drivers in this practice session, and the only driver to hit the 0.4 bracket was Garrett Spriggs at a 30.486. I'm going to see if we can get one of our top 3. Here we go. Donnie Honeycutt, 3rd place, and Garrett's on track 2. So we'll just kind of cycle through. Garrett P1, Bradley Miner P2, and Donnie Honeycutt is your top 3. And just to touch base with, we're going to go on board here with Garrett, it sounds like, here for the qualifying laps, the fastest guy in practice. Just want to go over the teams and the drivers, not listing all the drivers because that's a lot to go through, but the teams here tonight, Toyota-powered Ghost Motorsports, Ford-powered Old Dogs Racing, Chevrolet-powered Lone Star Racing, Ford-powered Harrington Motorsports, Ford-powered NASRAC Racing, Chevrolet-powered Badillac Racing, Ford Texas Motorsports, and Chevrolet Sim Racing Fiends. So we got a decent amount of teams here, lots of drivers. And here we go. He's going to run the outside here to start lap number 1. So you got to assume here, Jason, he's warming up the tires for lap 2.
Yeah, I haven't been on the sim in quite some time, obviously, but usually you would kind of just run this race like it's your normal, like you're just kind of running, your race and qualifying. You just see right there how loose it is getting in, but exits a little bit middle there, kind of comes out towards the wall. You don't want to exit too high here at these 1.5 miles, like a Kansas or Texas or especially Charlotte. You don't want to exit too high because you kind of cut your time a ton. So you want to try to exit middle, just as you see him doing right there down the back straightaway. It doesn't come all the way out to the wall on corner exit like you would see most guys do. Also saves that tire down into 3 and 4, trying to get to the paint. Does a good job at it, I think. And then coming here off turn number 4, just nearly holds that middle line. And to the line, looks like, I believe, going to be 2nd or 3rd up on the board. Garrett Spriggs, our practice fast time guy, 3rd on the board in the number 81 Chevrolet. So not able to get the practice speed that he had, but for qualifying, I'm sure that Garrett's going to do just fine here tonight.
Even Hayes, P6 in practice, just took the top of the qualifying board at a 30.629 after about 20 times have been posted. 21, he's here on the right-hand side pylon. That shows Harrington last at that 21st place at the moment. As we get our 22nd one in here, as we got about 2 minutes left in this qualifying session. Stephen Hayes, Bradley Miner, Nolan Todd hold the top 3. A lot of drivers, I think almost the entire top 10 in that 0.6 second bracket, which, Jason, this is open setup. If you got an open setup and you got the top 10, it's fixed. I'm sorry, I thought the note said open there on the splash opening screen. Apologize if I read that wrong. So it's fixed. So that tells me that if it's based off the iRacing Fix setup here, this thing gets pretty tight on the long run. So that makes me curious, Jason, what do you think on a tight truck? Do you run the bottom or do you run the top when it comes to the long run?
I would say run the bottom probably in the beginning portion of this race. You want to kind of save that right front tire as much as possible. Like I had just mentioned previously, with coming off turn 2 and off turn 4 especially, don't want to go all the way to the outside because you're just going to kill that right front tire, shred it to pieces like a cheese grater, because this track surface just keeps getting older and older, and it's getting more like a cheese grater as the years go on. So I would say probably run the bottom for the first portion of these races and stuff like that, as the tire wear starts to come into effect, maybe start to move up a little bit, middle, top lane. Charlotte is a multi-groove racing track anyways. We've seen it with the Gen 7 car. We've seen it with the Xfinity Series cars, especially the Craftsman Truck Series cars, or rather trucks. It's kind of hard because they're just, cars with truck bodies, but you get what I'm saying. So yeah, I would expect to see guys probably migrate up towards the top middle lanes, probably in the later portions on their tire run.
Yeah, it should spread out here as drivers search for grip. I know I'm a terrible fixed setup racer, so I'm always hunting when it comes after lap 15 or such. As 15 seconds left in this qualifying session, and it looks like all drivers have attempted. So Stephen Hayes, driver the number 13, typically in the Whataburger truck, will be on tonight's pole grid for race number 1 of the inaugural series for Off the Throttle Sim Select series. I'm gonna get that mixed up. There's 4 S's. We had this off-season chat about the OTSS. So bear with us as tongue twisters will happen here. Here we go. Starting lineup for race number 1 for the red, white, and blue 180 to get this thing kicked off. Stephen Hayes, Tyler Honeycutt start off P1 and P2. Row 2. We find Bradley Miner and Nolan Todd. Row 3, Roland Collette and Curtis Noble. Row 4, it's going to be DJ Honeycutt, Abram Ghostin. Row number 5, we're going to find Garrett Spriggs and EJ Luna. Row 6 and 11th, we're going to see Alex Zirkle and P12, Jonathan Gaston. Row 13, or P13 is going to be Donnie Honeycutt and Danny White. And then we got row 8, Dustin Franklin, Bobby Mansell. Row number 9, we're going to see Mark Sherwood, James Robbins. Row 10, Keith Vaughn, P19, Brad Berry, and P20. And then everybody else on back, P21, Corey Jones, 22nd, Dave Harrington. Position 23, John Border, 24th, Charlie Bass. 25th, Chris Harrington. 26th, Edward Campbell. And there we go. That is the starting lineup presented by Power Ed Research Institute, which that is the big sponsor here for the Off Throttle Sim Select series. So if you don't know who they are, let me do just a little bit of a read for you here. Empower Ed Research Institute is a nonprofit organization committed to advancing education and communities through research, innovation, and collaboration. Through its research and programs and services, Empower Ed Research Institute strives to harness the power of education to uplift individuals, foster community engagement, and affect positive change. Empower Ed Research Institute invites educators, researchers, policymakers, community leaders, and individuals passionate about education to join in on our mission. Together, we can make a meaningful difference in the lives of learners and communities.
We just had something happen.
Visit empoweredresearch.org for more information. And, what is...
What in
Welcome
the Lord?
to 2026. Have I ever? No, I haven't. We just had a massive pileup on the backstretch before the green flag.
What? I don't know.
Dustin, he's going to have to get quick work, Jason, to get this replay going. They're going to have to stall this, right?
I would assume so. I mean, we were just sitting here, and I'm listening to your beautiful voice that I haven't heard in a long time. Then all of a sudden, the 13 of Stephen Hayes, I don't know if his wheel disconnected or what, but all of a sudden the truck just started rolling straight and ran right up there into another truck and heavily damaged multiple trucks. A lot of Lone Star guys, some of the old dog guys as well. You see some drivers just basically up against the wall. Looks like the Chicago street course race when Carson Hocevar slammed the wall earlier last year. I would assume this is going to have to put some sort of a damper on this race. I don't know what they're going to do.
Yeah, some type of virtual disconnect of some kind of Stephen Hayes in the 13. Watch, you're going to just see him go straight. He just came over the radio and said, I have no idea what just happened. He just lost for words on that. So you're going to see it here. He's going to turn down the track just a little bit. And then... just drive straight. They're restacking them up here. I think they have 2 laps to green, but there it is, one more view. And just driving right up there, right up, and just out of nowhere. That's insane. I've never seen that kind of thing happen, Jason.
I think something happened entirely with his whole setup between his pedal and his wheels, because if we go back at that replay one more time, if we can, Dustin, I think you'll see this 13 truck just keep on rolling straight. There's no movement in that wheel at all. And then especially when the truck hits the wall, it starts to come down the racetrack. You can see right there, wheel is practically dead straight right there. And then all of a sudden just gets turned, but the truck never brakes, never stops at all. The truck just keeps on rolling backwards, and he didn't get right back into gear until about 2 to 3 seconds afterwards. So, I mean, I don't know. I've never seen anything like that since that one year at Talladega with Jimmy Johnson and Mark Martin back in the early 2000s.
Man, I love the old school references that Jason used to throw out. He's back. So they did get the 1 to go signal. Now they've called it back off. So we're now at 2 laps to go again. We're gonna let all the drivers get their damage fixed, get the starting order back to where it hopefully should be, and then we're gonna get this thing rolling. These laps do not count. They did not take the green flag. Just to notate, they were still on lap 0, I do believe, right? Yeah, it looks like we're still on lap 0. So green flag never has been issued. So this is just gonna make this run a little bit shorter on the fuel cycle, Jason.
Yeah, I don't really know exactly. Again, it's been so long since I've been in the sim and stuff like that. But they do have 100% fuel, so this is just like a normal Craftsman Truck Series race at Charlotte. So you're gonna see a very similar style with the way that the fuel run goes. So I mean, I would say probably what 50, 60 laps maybe on fuel, possibly. I'm not too sure. My math is terrible. So, but Jeremy, I know you're more of a numbers guy than me. So, I mean, we'll have to see what goes on. I'm still baffled at what happened. It caught me off guard watching that all. And now the big talking point, Jeremy, that I'm just sitting here wondering is, how is this going to affect everybody else in the race? You're going to have a guy who's got a truck that's not as fresh as everybody else out there. He's got damage to the right rear quarter panel, and you can almost imagine that a track like this for these trucks, that's going to play a huge role aerodynamic-wise for that 13 of Stephen Hayes. What's going to happen going into turn 1?
Yeah, we got a couple drivers going through. They're gonna get back up to the tail end of the field, maybe get back to their spot. We're still holding tight with 1 to green now. So it looks like we're official on that. So, I mean, let's do this now and not halfway in the season, right? So
Yeah.
get the old cobwebs shaken off, and hopefully the race does not mimic that. That's just a mechanical failure in the virtual world, Jason.
Yeah, and it happens. So I mean, the thing is like we've seen stuff like this happen. I had this happen to me actually quite a few years ago. I was doing a fixed race at iRacing Super Speedway, and all of a sudden we were under the pace lap, and my wheel just quite literally just disconnected. Sometimes it happens. You know, those USB ports, they become faulty. They might have something that's blocking the sensor and whatnot. So very interesting to see. I'm just very, very worried about the rest of the field, along with Stephen Hayes, now that he's got damage, and some other guys as well.
All right, well, pace truck should be going down right now. Nope. We're going to go one more. One more, it looks like. So hang tight here. We're almost ready. The pace truck lights were off, but I guess they signaled it to 3 to go, and the lights kind of glitched out. We've never had a 5+ laps of pre-pacing, but series info. So we're gonna go over the series info. It looks like here's we got fancy graphics all over the place. Fixed setup, 100% fuel load capacity, which has already been mentioned. Tires of variable to race length. That just determines, or what that means is the tire count that's behind the wall, which tonight is 3 sets of tires. But that could change depending on if it's super speedway or road course or whatever the case is. So there's the gist of it. Got the 3 green, white checker to tips. No fasties. And I don't know if they have the 1 to go. It's hard to tell with no pace truck lights, but also to notate too, Lucky Dogs are in effect. We'll showcase those as needed, and that's extra laps presented by Extra Life there. So we're almost ready to go, Jason.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of just waiting. It's like you're at a hockey game and you're kind of just waiting for your team to score in overtime and or even a shootout. So this is kind of how it feels. I'm just waiting and waiting. You don't know when it's going to happen. Let's see right here. Is the pace truck going to pull off? Is he pulling off?
There
Yes,
we
he is.
go.
We're ready
The
to
crowd's
go.
wild. 92,000 virtual fans on the feet at capacity as Charlotte in the restart zone. Green flag season finally underway. Stephen Hayes with the 45 honeycut to the outside here to barrel off into turn number 1. Those two trucks get a nice little jump over the rest of the field. The 99 slow up on the outside, losing 5-10 positions easy. Not sure if it's an engine failure or a mechanical failure, but either way, he is slow. Gonna go down to the infield. Oh, he's got a couple more trucks left. So bad, terrible start there for the number 99 to Nolan Todd, who started P4.
Yeah, and you can see right here, Jeremy, look at that right rear quarter panel on the 13. You can see how much it's affecting him into turn 3. That truck just plowed heavily. We got cars going through the dirt. That was the 45 of Tyler Honeycutt, or rather the 15, I believe it is. That's DJ Honeycutt, drove all the way to the grass just to make that pass, referencing Dale Earnhardt with his not so much pass in the grass on Bill Elliott back at the All-Star race years and years ago.
Can't do that anymore at Charlotte because that is turf down there. As we got the Nerd TV instant replay here, looking at the 15 of one of 3 honeycuts out there on the field. And there's just looseness. Just straight up got loose, drove through the turf. That no harm, no foul. The grip is still strong down there below the white line. Of course, you can't make passing down there happen, but as you get single file, there's been a lot of trucks bouncing off the walls. Trucks are very loose early on, it looks like.
Yeah, they definitely look pretty loose, but also some of these trucks look really tight. You see that 13 machine of Stephen Hayes gets a little bit loose, got too low onto that apron, but he has lost a significant amount of spots since the start of this race. He has lost now pretty much 5, now 6, almost 7 spots all the way back now as he rides the outside lane side by side with Curtis Noble coming off turn number 2. Noble on the bottom, and back behind them, Garrett Spriggs. Remember, fastest guy in practice. What can he do with that truck as they work into 3?
He's riding on board the driver camera side of the 13. We got a lead change happening right now. The 42 EJ Luna to the front from 10th to first place in 5 laps. We called this guy all last year. He was in the 24. Now he's flipped the number 42, not in a blue truck, but in a red truck. And he's going to take the lead on lap number 5, 10 spots early to the driver of the 42.
See, EJ, he's just doing a great job so far, up those 9 spots from the start of the race. Just kind of out there cruising by only about 2 truck lengths right there. And this is so far a chaotic start to the evening, Jeremy, and we still have a long, long way to go. Remember, 120 laps. It's going to be an interesting one, and as the weather progresses throughout the day and these trucks continue to get wear, I can only imagine we're going to have some comers and goers. I'm still really wondering how Garrett Spriggs is going to do from being fastest in practice, up 3 from the start of the race, but so far, biggest mover that's caught my eye for the time being is Charlie Bass, and that number 94 up to 12, just shy of the top 10, plus 12 from where he started, slowly starting to get his way up towards that front.
Yeah, 94 up quite a bit there from his teammate, the 99, Nolan, who dropped from 4th to last with whatever mechanical failure that he was experiencing here. But he's under attack here from the number 97 right behind him, Bradley Berry, on the inside, waiting for the gap to go from 2 wide to 1 so he can make that pass effort here as the 22 is hanging on. Not the most comfortable truck from Donnie Honeycutt. He is holding onto that outside lane. They got the extra grip there on the upper half of these corners. He backs it down early this time, single file. Goes the 94 of Charlie Bass, 97, quick, easy to the inside of Donnie. As now he's going to try to make that pass, and then Bradley's going to set his eyes back on the number 97 there, or the 94 rather, Charlie Bass.
See him coming down into turns 3 and 4 and off 4 for the time being. Everybody's pretty much single file. It's just a ride around game, try to pick up some spots while you can. But as these tires wear out, again, like I had mentioned before, Jeremy, you're going to see comers and goers. We don't know exactly who's going to be the fastest besides, your pole sitter and also, the guy who was fastest in practice. But for the time being, Garrett Spriggs, he's all the way up to 5th, doing a great job. And Stephen Hayes, he has dropped like a rock, minus 10 spots. They're in 11th, and you can only imagine, Jeremy, that right rear damage that he sustained from that incident under the pace laps has to be affecting him right now.
Yeah, 100% there. Any type of mile and a half track, these speeds are so dependent on aerodynamics of your vehicle, and if you lose any body panel to any type of damage, you are at a quick deficit because the speeds of these trucks, especially at fixed setup, so you don't have the setup advantage. You're a NASCAR Cup car essentially, where you're the same thing, and so it's all driver skill, it's all aerodynamics, and 13's at a deficit here. We're gonna shout out one of our partners, Icon Apparel Company. We mentioned them either. They are opening Countdown to Green sponsor. These guys deliver top-notch products, home of the best sim gloves in all of sim racing. They make full customized sublimation printing t-shirts. They got custom embroidered hats, hoodies, which I know me and Justin have one, and these things are bright. We got the nerd bright green colors in our hoodies for the winter season, and it's heavier, but it's so warm. Doesn't matter how cold it is outside, it makes you feel great. So you got the breathable shirts, you got the warm hoodies for the winter, you got the hats. We're just missing pants and socks, and you got a full setup. And you're going to go to iconapparelcompany.com. You can customize and build your own jersey straight from the website with a customized tool that Dustin helped build with Scott over there at Icon Apparel Company. And you're going to do that at iconapparelcompany.com. Promotion code SUPERNERD is going to save you 25% off your entire purchases. The 94, Charlie Bass, got in the back of the number 8, got him loose off of turn number 2, makes the pass happen there. And the 8 of Alex Zirkle, looks like he's fallen back quite a few spots.
Yeah, I've been really looking at the leaderboard, Jeremy, on our end. Everybody's kind of shifting around big time here. We've seen guys go up 12 spots. We've seen guys lose 10 spots. And Charlie Bass continuing to muscle his way through this field in that number 94, up 16 spots from where he started there in that number 94 machine. Look at that, started 24th, and we're not even to lap 20 yet. Great job by Charlie to be able to just kind of make ground so far early on. That's what you like to see if you want a short run truck. But remember, with how hard he's charging up towards the front, it could cost him in the long run depending on how much he's using them tires.
I'm kind of surprised too, Jason. He ran 7th fastest in practice, so he didn't have like the best speed, right? He qualified way in the back, probably had a bad lap. He was not even in the top 5 all practiced, but the race setup, even though it's fixed, whatever he's doing behind the wheel, whether that be the any type of brake bias adjustments he's making, or there's a steering adjustment you can make to either make the wheel turn a lot or turn a little bit, and that's the only things you can work with. And it's just those two combinations plus what he's doing with the pedals and the steering wheel, making this truck rotate, getting the speed he needs to. And he's only 4 seconds behind the race leader while passing a bunch of trucks. So great job there by Charlie. There's a couple of big movers too. Dustin Franklin, he's up 8 positions, which is right in front of Charlie Bass. The 74 Dustin Franklin up 8 spots in P7 right now. I see you got John Border back there in 15th. He started 23rd, so he's up 8 spots himself. A lot of big movers.
Yeah, we got a little bit of a big shake-up here. Look towards the front of the field. DJ Honeycutt, Roland Collette, Garrett Spriggs. Everybody is really bunched up for the time being. Nobody can get away from one another for the time being. You see EJ Luna really holding up this field. This almost looks like New Atlanta, Jeremy. You got 6 trucks under a blanket. Here comes DJ Honeycutt trying to make a run at the 42. Luna is going to slide right up in front of Garrett Spriggs, your fast man in practice, You see Curtis Noble now dipping down to the bottom on Roland Collette as they roll down into turn 3.
6 truck breakaway for a 4-second gap between 6th and 7th. And these guys are hashing it out 2 wide, loose, side by side, nose to tail, trying to get the advantage over one another. And this is producing some amazing racing here to open this season here for the Off the Throttle Sim Select Series. Yeah, we're gonna ride on board a couple of these trucks as they're making some passes happen here. And here's the number 9, one of the new drivers that we have not covered ever, Roland Collette, P4 right now, has led a couple of laps here this evening, really early on within the first couple of laps of the race. Trying to get back to the point. Right now it's congested with Luna P1, DJ Honeycutt second, and Garrett Spriggs in P3.
I thought that number 9, Jeremy, about a lap and a half ago, was going to put it 3 wide in the middle, but elected to back out. I saw the truck kind of rolling tight through the center, and I'm glad that he did, because it could have been a massive crash coming off turn number 4. But everybody has kind of settled into their spots right now. The only one who hasn't settled in and who's hungry for more is DJ Honeycutt. We've seen him take about 2 to 3 jabs at the lead on EJ Luna, went from the top to the bottom, and now they're battling back at it into turn 1, side by side for the race lead. And it looks like Honeycutt might clear him. No, he doesn't. Luna powers back along the top side off 2.
Garrett in the 81 elect to take the outside in 1 and 2, get a great launch off the corner exit. He goes back to the top in 3 and 4, battling in P3. He's going to do the crossover. He's going to try it. Gets to it inside of the 15. Goes the 81 of Garrett. Nose to nose at the line. At that time, DJ still holds P2. 81 now has to get himself to the bottom. Rotate well. Can he pass DJ and put Garrett himself out? Nope. Checks up massively. Real tight on the bottom. Loose on exit. Now here comes Roland going in for third rather.
Yeah, you can see right here with Dustin using our boozy jerky tipsy cam, just showing off how tight it gets. Oh, there we go. Contact. A 9 sideways. Up and into the wall. Pancakes it with the right side. No yellow. Goes through the infield turf. No caution. Saw that coming from a mile away there, Jeremy. We saw how tight the 9 was off turn number 4 just a few laps ago. And you can only imagine that number 9 truck is done for the night. The right front completely destroyed.
Yeah, the 81 there, Garrett, just too tight. Like, they were running close quarters already, but he just, middle of the corner, the truck just slipped up a quarter of a lane right into the 9's left rear, sends him deep into the turn 4 outside wall, lost the front fender. That truck is not going to drive well. That toe's got to be knocked out. The aerodynamics just shot, and his night is done. He's just got to salvage up what laps he can. But heartbreak early here to open up this race for Roland.
Yeah, I want to see maybe if we can see one more replay there of the incident, because that wasn't even on the 9 of him getting loose or tight. You can see right here, the 81 just gets tight in the middle, and it gets so hard to drive right there going through 3 and 4, because for some reason, it's like the corner kind of just narrows up, and then just when you drive, Jeremy, I know you and Dustin both know, when you drive at Charlotte into turn 3, it feels like it's much wider. Then when you get to the center, all of a sudden it's like the track just for some reason makes a sharper left. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just me. But that 81 machine right through the center got really tight. And man, oh man, he really got that 9 good. And it's just unfortunate too, because Collette looked like he had it saved if there was no truck on the inside. But unfortunately, he bounced off the right door of the truck below it. Pancakes the wall on the outside. Looks like his night is going to be over.
And then Curtis Noble, man, oh man, that guy was so lucky there. Turn 4, got hit in the right rear, coming off of the exit of the corner. I thought he could have been easily hooked to the right or into the outside wall. Watch the 88. He does a great job hanging on to it. This could have easily ruined his night too. Look at that. His truck instantly turned to the right and somehow was able to keep it on the surface.
I want to see his
not
hands.
Spinning. Dustin, you know Jason likes to make you work. We're going to replay again. Hands on with the Oakley visor camera. There's that quick jolt to the right.
Yeah.
Not too
You know what,
bad.
though?
He makes it look easy.
I think though, Jeremy, that because these trucks, they don't have as much horsepower and they have a little bit more grip. I think that's probably why Noble was able to save that truck so well. If that would have been an Xfinity Series car, he would have been done. There's no rear downforce on the rear end of those trucks. There's a lot of downforce in the rear here with these things. They don't have as much horsepower, ton of grip. So thankful for Curtis Noble. He was able to get away pretty much unscathed besides a little bit of right side damage. But Jeremy, noticing right here, look what's starting to come into effect here 28 laps in. That outside lane, here comes Garrett Spriggs, fastest man in practice, to the outside of his teammate Curtis Noble for Sim Racing Fiends team. To the outside, able to clear him there off 4. This outside really paying off here in this portion of the race.
Yeah, and their team's doing great. 3rd, 4th, and 7th to open up the first 30 laps of this 120 lap event. As we got some fancy tools to play with. Dustin's showing them off here. There's so many new ones, it's hard for me to remember what he's got. He's got the instrument panel though, so he's going to be going through them as this race moves on. And by the way, before we hit commercial break for the first time, the YouTube chats are wide open. If you're watching YouTube, I got 13 viewers now live on there. If you want to do any type of shout outs or just talk about the race or say hello, we'll shout you out live on the broadcast. No problem whatsoever. As we're going to kick it to our first picture-in-picture commercial break of the evening. We'll be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it in here. Now, this is my spot. I own this spot. Boozy Jerky, the original booze-infused beef jerky with a pair. Now available.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
And back to full screen there. Appreciate all of our partners. Like to cycle through those commercials as we can. We're still green flag, 39 laps in. We saw one pit stop at least with the 88 of Curtis Noble, and maybe a couple others as well, as they're starting to trickle in a little bit here. We're going to try to welcome you guys to some of the teams out here. I mentioned them on the pre-race right before we went green flag, but we're going to kind of cycle through as EJ Luna is taken back to the race lead. EJ Luna, 42 driver of Lone Star Racing, was the red or orange spoilers last year. Now they're in the red spoilers with a battle with the 45. Tyler Honeycutt, one of the drivers from Ghost Motorsports, 45 and 15, the Honeycutts here. Both Ghost Motorsports Toyota Tundras, looking to try to take Lone Star Racing from first to second, maybe even to third here, as we got a nice little 3-truck breakaway from the next guy back, also from Ghost Motorsports, Tony Honeycutt. Just cycle through a couple other ones here. We have the 74 Dustin Franklin, also a part of Lone Star. 97 in 6th place, that's going to be Bradley Berry. Bradley Berry is back with Nasdaq Racing, the first Ford F-150, sitting there nicely in P6. And you got the 64, Mr. Danny White from Old Dogs Racing, the next Ford on the lineup there. So Danny White had a little couple moments there about 5 or 10 laps to go, but he's hanging tight there. So P5, P6 currently at the moment are Fords. Farrell Robinson in 7th. Got to go through my list here, because I'm still getting used to all the new team names and whatnot. He's part of Old Dogs Racing as well, the 76, 64, all the same team. Also is Jonathan Gaston, the 72. So Old Dogs, actually, Jason, doing pretty good right now. Top 10, they keep cycling through, but they were 5th, 6th, and 7th that last time around. And pit stops are still cycling through.
Yeah, we saw the first pit stop really be committed by Curtis Noble at lap 32. So you can imagine that the pit window probably is going to be opened up for some of those guys then, but they're also splitting this into probably thirds. Some of them might try to go halfway. I'm not too sure, but we'll just have to find out and see. Obviously, everybody's got varying strategies. Here comes DJ Honeycutt. He's into the pits right now from the first, second position from that top 3. I tell you what, Jeremy, you were just mentioning about the teams and whatnot. Old Dogs having a great run so far here tonight. But I think the real 2 heavyweight title contenders this year, like we saw previously in the league we used to cover here on Nerd TV, is going to be Ghost Motorsports and Lone Star Racing. Those 2 teams have been big-time heavyweight classes when it comes to all these group of guys racing together. So expect those 2 teams to probably be the dominators here in 2026.
Yeah, I know we used to call Ghost Motorsports a year and a half ago, and they used to be like the top early on in the season. and then the teams learned from them that raced with them. So Lone Star picked up their game, Old Dogs picked up their game, um, and they showed their muscle. And then it put Ghost in a little spot there. So now they've taken this off season. They've got a new league. They've got a couple drivers with them, and they have found some speed at Charlotte to open up this season. A lot of them up there comfortably in the top 10 before the pit cycles started to go through. You mentioned maybe halvesies or in thirds for pit stops. The 88 Curtis Noble did pit on lap 32, which I presume will put him on a 30, 60, 90 three pit stop strategy. And I'm kind of curious of where the 88 cycles through when everyone does make their first pit stops, because sometimes, depending on the lap count, that's also the better strategy. It's more time on pit road, but it's much faster lap times on average.
Yeah, I think that probably I would assume that Curtis Noble is probably going to want this race to go green all the way to the end, especially some of these guys who are also going to be running, that third strategy or that, cut in half, or rather 2 pit stops, I meant to say. If you're trying to go halfway, man, God bless your soul, because you are just eating your tires up here in this first portion of the run. Yeah, you might be faster when it comes to the halfway through the race, but you got to remember, you're only doing one stop. You're killing the tires in the later portion of the run if you do try to cut this race in half. I don't see anybody doing that. So far, if you don't count 2 of the guys that are inside the top 10 that pitted during that first lap, quote unquote. Remember when we had that incident during the pace laps? I did not have that on my bingo card for 2026, especially for the first time coming back here to Nerd TV with you guys in over a year. But, there's only, let's see right here, 8 guys who haven't pitted that are all in the top 8. You have Brad Berry, James Robbins, Jonathan Gaston, Charlie Bass, Dave Harrington, Keith Vaughn, Stephen Hayes, and Chris Harrington. All 8 of those guys are yet to pit. And Curtis Noble starting to kind of make some ground up. He's battling with Stephen Hayes. So obviously varying different strategies here tonight, Jeremy.
Yeah, it is quite scattered, to my surprise, of how many different type of strategies are going on. You usually see a big cluster of trucks on this lap, or maybe 5 or 6 here, but no, it's all just one here, one there, and it's been 16 laps since this pit window is, I guess, opened up in a way, with Curtis Noble taking the first stab at it 16 laps ago. The 77 Harrington, Christopher Harrington, that is, he's down and underway. As you're still looking at the pit stops and everything cycling through. I love this graphic so much, especially when it runs 15 plus laps of just cycling through these pit stops, because you can see in real time the top 10 and what's going on. You see Mr. Curtis Noble up there in P6. Remember, he took that pit stop a long time ago. Now 17 laps to go. First one, 4 tires. And he's hanging on there, 97. He's on, or it was on pit road a minute ago. And we're looking at the 88, 81 here through 1 and 2. Coming up on lap 50, it's going to signal 71 laps to go.
Yeah, you see them here down the back straightaway. Everybody's still kind of scattered around. Dustin, I'm not too sure if we got a track map this year, man. But if we got a track map just to see where everybody's at, if we do have one, that'd be awesome. But there's some of the repairs we've seen here tonight, obviously from many of the guys who were involved in incidents either early on, or you saw a few guys slap the wall here tonight. But look at that. There is your live scoring map right there. Everybody is everywhere. You got guys on the back stretch. You got guys in the 3 and the 1, on the front stretch, on the pits, no matter what. Everybody is everywhere currently on this track. And Jeremy, just to touch up too on the pit stops so far here tonight, is we have now completed green flag pit stops with everybody now officially pitting. Currently, this race has now cycled with Garrett Spriggs, your fast man in practice, out to the point. He pitted on lap 36. Curtis Noble, first guy to pit. We talked about him early on. He pitted at lap 32. So just with 4 lap fresher tires, Curtis Noble is 7/10 slower than Garrett Spriggs. If I were the rest of these guys throughout the field, I'd be taking note of that for sure here if it comes down to a late race yellow.
Yeah, that shows the tightness that you were describing in the pre-race of what these drivers are going through there. That's a lot of time falling off, and I'd assume that's the right front and being chewed up because I see more trucks tight on center than I do loose. So that goes to show you the circumstances that you have to go through when you run at a track that's 100 plus degrees on the surface. As we pull up the weather report, let's see what the track temp looks like right now. I know Dustin's got that graphic somewhere in his back pocket. 109. We've been up 3 degrees since the start of this race. 53 laps ago was 106, now 109, but the wind speed went from 11 mile an hour from the northeast to 7. So the wind's down, the temps are up, and the truck grip is non-existent, Jason.
You know what I absolutely love too about this series, Jeremy and Dustin, is the fact that we don't have any stages. Now listen, I'm all for stage racing. I really am, but the cautions are what kill me. And I'm so glad because a race like this where you have so many different strategies going on throughout the race, this whole race very well, and I doubt it will, based on what we've seen so far, but they've gotten through 56, almost 57 laps so far here tonight. This could come down all the way to the wire based on pit strategy here tonight. I know a lot of these teams and drivers, they're looking at each other's strategies going, all right, what's this guy doing? Hey, this guy took this set at this lap. I think that might be the right move. And remember, with being a fixed setup series, you don't really have a lot to work with. You only have the opportunity to adjust that brake bias and I believe the steering ratio on pit road. But besides that, it's really going to come down to strategy and your racecraft, like saving those tires here towards the end of this race.
One of the fancy graphics we had there, battle for second or third was on the pylon there just a moment ago. If we could maybe bring that back up, just show you how that system works. There we go, bottom right corner, battle for second there. Luna is the target. Then you got Gaston in front by minus 0.71. Now it's Honeycutt. And then you got the other Honeycutt there, right behind him there in fifth, right on the tail. So it just goes to show you the white basically says they're non-existent. The yellow means they're close by. And if you're orange, you better be on the lookout because he's right next door.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody is everywhere on this racetrack. Currently, Curtis Noble, that guy, remember we talked about, first one to make that pit stop, 4.3 seconds back of the race leader. Last time by, ran a 33 flat nearly. Garrett Spriggs ran a 32.5. Now this time another 32.5, so about half a second quicker. Curtis that time by ran a 33.1, so 5 to 6 tenths of a second is the difference. Now the question's going to be for me is where are the guys who pitted around lap 45 to 50 going to wound up? Because EJ Luna, who's been pretty much leading a majority of this race so far here tonight, finds himself in that fourth spot, currently 6.6 seconds back of the race leader, running 31.9s. Not too far off, or rather, not too much faster than the race leader. So maybe the tires will equalize here as the later portion of this run here goes on. We'll have to see what EJ Luna wounds up here as the race progresses.
Look at that, Luna P4. He is 6 tenths faster than the race leader. That's just that he is moving, man.
Flying.
And he's taking the outside of the 45. This is a battle for fourth and fifth right now. As Tyler Honeycutt trying to advance as well. And get inching closer to his teammate DJ Honeycutt there. Now it's battle for third and fourth. As a cycle through this time, Garrett Spriggs still leads by 5.6 seconds. But he's also at that huge time deficit, pitting 15 laps earlier than the most of these guys behind him. There's your race leader driving the number 81 right there on your screen. I'm going to do a ad read real quick for one of our partners here, the one who does not have a rotating commercial on our list. That's going to be Dusty Pete's Gifts and Collectibles. If you're looking for anything nerdy, get your nerd on by heading on to his online store. Oh, hold on, we're going to back that up. The iRacing iFlag caution for the first time on lap 62 is out. For the first time, we're going to have to go find what exactly just happened here. Is we got the Nerd TV replay up, and presumably we got the 22 involved. Maybe one of the Honeycutts. Contact. Oh yeah, Tyler. Oh no.
My goodness. That's a
just
hard hit.
right reared into the front stretch wall. The 23 was the one right behind him in the Coors Light machine there, and we're gonna need a couple angles at this one.
Yeah, you see right here coming off turn 4, I believe the 23 of Keith Vaughn was way faster than Honeycutt there coming off the corner and then dips to the outside. And right there, it just looks like, honestly, Jeremy kind of looked like a mix between Netcode and also the 23 and 45 just kind of coming together. I wonder if we can get an aerial shot right here from Dustin, maybe. I think that might tell a little bit better of the picture. But you see the 23, great run. It's hard to say. I think Netcode might have
Yeah,
been involved, but I believe the
yeah,
45 just kind of came up a little bit, Jeremy. I think he just didn't expect them to make a run like that down coming off the corner. Here it is
yeah.
again.
There's a physical contact here, and that and I think
Yeah.
this is just a matter of the 45 just thinks he has the lane control because he's on the lead lap in third. Keith Vaughn a lap down in 16th. But Keith, like you said, he's much faster, and he's just going to pass him on the outside, get a little side draft to slingshot him into turn 1. That's a little too close. I think if you're a lap down truck, maybe you should lay off the fender of the guy who's in the top 3. But that's just my take on it. But regardless, that's a night-ending wreck there for the 45.
I think though, Jeremy, at the end of the day, you look at it, you got a guy who's trying to come up through the field who's on fresher tires than the other, I believe. I mean, realistically, it's just a racing incident. The fact that it's a right hook, though, that's a little bit of a different story. But I think that the race officials, they're going to look at it after the race, obviously, because that was a big thing that was, really pinpointed on coming into 2026 with this league that we found out, the drivers found out, admins very much clearly stated in their server was that they were not going to put up with no incidents, that they were going to carefully analyze every single incident that happens on the racetrack every single week. So they're definitely going to take a better look at that here probably after this race to determine what the outcome will be for both those drivers.
Going picture-in-picture mode here during this caution cycle. We'll be back before the drop of the green flag here, which is coming up in just a few laps. We'll be right back.
Hey, can you do me a favor? I'm really hungry, but I'm trapped in here, and I dropped my last piece of boozy jerky on the floor. I can't reach it. Would you mind grabbing me a bag of the most tender, flavorful booze-infused jerky on the planet? I promise I'll pay you back. I mean, I'd eat my piece, but I can't reach it. Oh, actually, I got it. Oh, it's so good. It's so tender, so flavorful. You should really pick yourself up a bag. But if you do, you can't eat it here.
All right, here we go. Restart. First restart of the night. Little check up there. Green flag back in the air. Lap 66 underway. Garrett Spriggs leads the field from the inside lane, and he's going to have control over first place all by his lonesome as the top 4 go single file. 5th and 6th still side by side here. Off of turn 2 for the first time. Trucks off the wall. A lot of 2x2, even 3 wide in the back.
Yeah, a lot of bouncing off one another there, down the back straightaway into turn 3. Saw Dustin Franklin, who's moved into second, slam the door on DJ Honeycutt. Now they're side by side up at the front of the field. Franklin has actually surpassed DJ Honeycutt to pass him, but look, here it comes, Mr. I've been fast all night, EJ Luna, right there in the hunt. Franklin gets loose off the bottom, sideways in front of the field. Is he able to save it? Oh my goodness, how in the world did he not hit him? That
No.
early contender, Jeremy, for near miss of the year?
Nah, Charlie Bass just counting his blessings right there. Nerd TV replay is going to have it. 74, Dustin Franklin goes the little loopsy daisies with the looseness of the cold tires. And see EJ Luna just right there moves up the track, avoids him. But 94, Charlie Bass get to the hands.
Oh my goodness.
The best hands award rather, going to the 94. Oakley visor camera incoming. No, Dustin disagrees. Our producer wants a different angle of this. Here we go. Right fin, camera angle. And look at that. Sheer, what was that, about 3 inches, Jason?
It's like what Deadpool would say in the first Deadpool movie. He wore the brown pants. He had the right idea right there. You see Bass just barely squeak by less than about 3 inches. Crazy. And just our first race so far here tonight, Jeremy, we're not even done yet. There's so much action to unfold here for the remainder of this race. We've had an early incident before the race even started. We've had great action. We've had a near miss. We've had some drama. I mean, it's been a great night so far here tonight, and we're just basically getting going.
Yeah, 100% there. And I told Dustin I was going to have a bingo card ready for 2026. I guess I slipped on that idea. So I am going to build one myself without the 2 things that we have seen on race number 1. So there's that. And I also promised these guys in the comments I'll shout them out, and I have yet to do so. So I'm going to do it. NASDAQ Racing Team, whoever's running the team channel there, of course, shouting out this team, and they want you to upgrade the sim rigs with the GTR racing simulators. They got a promotion code in the YouTube chat if you want to copy and paste that, save you 10%. And then thank you, Brooksdale Esports, 10 out of 10 broadcasting. And then that's followed up with Nazrak saying, I agree, it's the best broadcast. I mean, I appreciate that. We'll take it. I can't just sit there and say, yeah, we're the best. That's not my job. That's not my responsibility to say that, but I appreciate the comment nonetheless. Our producer will say it. Turn on your microphone, sir.
I will absolutely say it. I am live now. We are the best, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys that are tuning in. Much love and respect.
There you go. Words from Walter White, Dustin Loxton, whatever you want to call him.
You know,
Jason,
it's funny. So in the chat, Brookdale Esports, that is my, it's so funny because I'm going to say this here in a second. There's Walter right there. Brookdale Esports, that account is ran and managed by our esports director, Chris Bomer, over at my college that I go to. So Chris, thank you for tuning in. It's funny because Chris looks just like Dustin. It's like when I went from Dustin to Chris, it was like almost the same person. Practically a bald head, the goatee. Dustin's got a little bit more of a beard for sure, but both of them could be twinsies, and they could probably both dress up as Walter White for Halloween if they very much wanted to.
All right, well, you just can't be on the same street because you can't have 2 Walter Whites walking around, right? That'd be...
Facts.
Yeah, that wouldn't be allowed, I don't think, in the books there of the nerddoms. But back to the racing real quick here. A lot of single file. Very not reminiscent of the first initial start back 74 laps ago, as we're under the 50 laps to go mark here. 45, I think, or 46 now to go at the line. And got a little side-by-side. Danny White passing the number 22 of Donnie Honeycutt. That's a battle for 5th and 6th place as the 22 is forced to go wide. Little choo-choo train action. Oh, a little slice up goes the 97. That was a close call there from Bradley Berry. Sneaks in there to the outside lane. Now the 88 there of Mr. Curtis Noble goes to the inside of him. Trying to make the pass. Does get it going. 97 loose. Back to single file at the start-finish line.
I think too, Jeremy, a lot of the reason why these guys are all single file is because, remember, we had that caution. Everybody pitted at the same lap practically. The only one who didn't was Curtis Noble, who it kind of played a good dividend to, but at the same time didn't. He pitted lap 60, didn't really gain anything, didn't really lose much either. So he tried that strategy. But now that everybody's on the same strategy, I wonder if he's going to change up his just a little bit. But we'll have to see as we ride on board with this number 88 machine down the front straightaway at over 170 miles an hour. He could just sniff that draft right behind them. But I tell you what, though, Jeremy, you look up who's not even in that picture currently in front of them, Garrett Spriggs. He has run away with the lead by about 4 3/10 of a second currently over EJ Luna, the man who was fast in practice, currently showing him up here at Charlotte.
Yeah, bad fast. Most of these guys in the top 5, they've been hanging around here this entire race. Garrett's had the short run for sure. EJ Luna, probably one of the best long runs that we've seen him do in quite some time. And he is hanging on tight. He's 4.2 seconds back, but you better watch that tower here in the next 5 to 10 laps. I would imagine he's going to cut that thing down to the low 3s. As Garrett has got a rocket ship on the short run here, cycling to the number 44, Mark Sherwood. Up 14 positions, the driver of the 44 is. As you get his, there it is, third. Currently started 17th, and we're going to flash his times there with the race leader as well. All the fancy tools. Last lap, 31.8 to the leader's 31.8. So right now mimicking the times of the race leader, which tells me Garrett is on the down curve of his laps, and everybody else is going to start chipping away here shortly.
Yeah, I think that Garrett definitely has a great truck. We saw how fast he was in practice. He was solid in qualifying. But again, though, you just mentioned it, Jeremy, he is having that lead getting chipped away as the laps wind down. Last time around, 32.0 to EJ Luna's 31.9, so about just a little bit more than a tenth better for EJ Luna. But the fact that it's a over 4 second gap, that's going to be the thing. And these guys very well are going to probably pit at least one more time, maybe, depending on how this race plays out. But I'm not too sure because that caution fell at such a crucial point in the race. I don't know if anybody's going to have to pit one more time. We might see everybody stretch it all the way out to the end because not only did they pit, but then you think about it, they're saving fuel after the caution too. So we'll have to find out and see. But EJ Luna, he's down below the 4 second gap now, back from Garrett Spriggs. Can he run him down? We'll have to find out.
Brooke Daily Sports back on the YouTube saying he cannot escape the bald jokes. We don't give Dustin enough, and I guess he can't get away from them. So there's got to be a happy medium there somewhere between these two. And then Brian Fine, number 57, Brian Fine with Fine Beer, saying Happy New Year's to the nerds. Happy New Year's to you, man. Thank you for joining us. You didn't have to do that back in 2026, and here's he, Mr. Brian himself on the YouTube side. Thank you. Got 16 live viewers. Our viewer count slowly still climbing. We started with 13. We're at 16. Appreciate you guys all joining in here as we have not too many laps to go. We're on lap 83 of 120, so under 40. We got one pit stop remaining if this thing cycles green all the way through. And the racing is not done yet. They're going to see a lot of flip-flopping of positions. There's your last pit stops, 19 all the way through 22 for Curtis Noble. Jason talked about it briefly. He pitted right before the caution. That's why his laps are a little different. But he got cycled to the lead lap, and he's not in a bad shape. But currently P5. He's done a lot of work to get from 15th to 5th.
Yeah, and obviously everybody was pretty much on various different strategies, Jeremy, throughout the entire race up until that caution prior to lap 63. Some good battles here and there throughout the entire field, as you see right now. That's Curtis Noble, Brad Berry going at it into turns 3 and 4. We'll see who ends up on the good end of this battle. They get really tight. It gets tight off turn 3, side by side, able to keep it off one another. Great pieces of driving from both Berry and also Noble, who is still hanging in there with those 3 lap older tires, even though the caution kind of helped him out a little bit. Still fighting really hard, but Jeremy, guess who is cracked down over a second on that lead? Yes, he has. Mr. EJ Luna, 2.9, now make it 2.8 seconds back behind Garrett Spriggs, a 32.5 for Garrett and a 32.3 for EJ. And that lap time continuously getting better for Mr. EJ Luna here as he heads into one.
Rewind my voice from 10 to 15 laps ago, and I said low threes. He was at the 3-second mark, and now he's at 2.8. Garrett dropping like a rock here as the late run is underway. Everybody catching the race leader right now as we're looking at the 42 Luna, 2.8 last time he gained 0.2. Let's see what he does this time around at the start-finish line. It's going to go to 2.4, 4/10. That's almost a half a second, Jason. This man is on a mission. Mark Sherwood is close behind him, so Lone Star inching their way up, trying to get back to the race lead at least one more time.
I was just about to point out there, Jeremy, good thing you hit on it. Mark Sherwood, his lap times are nearly matched with EJ Luna's. He's only back by about 0.11 seconds there, so only just slightly over a tenth. Right here at the line, let's see what it is. Garrett Spriggs, 32.84. EJ Luna, 32.5. And Mark Sherwood drops about 0.2 more that lap, 32.74 for him last time around. So he's kind of almost on par with his teammate. Oh, as I say that, it gets really wicked loose off too there. Able to hang on, great car control. But you can imagine, Jeremy, it's going to probably kill those right side tires, and he's going to hurt him a lot with track time.
Yeah, you don't want to lose any advantage you might have because everyone's on that fixed setup. So if you shot the tires just for a lap, that's multiple laps to cool them off, and you're going to lose a lot of time doing it. EJ, 1.9 seconds back here. Give it about another 3 to 4, or probably another 5 to 6 laps, I'm going to say. And we're going to have a battle for the race lead as Garrett from the Racing Fiends, driver number 81, looking from the back of his cabin here, running the outside lane, searching for the grip. EJ Luna running the bottom, the multi-surface in effect here, all based on comfort levels and tire wear. Back to the outside goes the 81, inside 42, teammate of the 42. We're also running the inside lane. Looks like dominantly a lot of the trucks in the top 10 on the inside lane, except for Garrett searching for any type of grip.
Yeah, I think Garrett is doing a great job of running the outside, but I also think it's hurting him because if you think about it, this is almost like a double-edged sword for both these drivers. EJ Luna can catch him. Yes, he's running that bottom. He can kill that right front, but as long as he's running that paint down on the bottom with the left sides, he's going to have grip to be able to just kind of rotate through the center of the corner. You see him right there. Kind of missed it there off the bottom, so it's going to hurt him a little bit on exit. But once he gets there, Jeremy and Dustin, like we all know in racing, it's one thing to catch him, it's another to pass him. And along with that, Garrett Spriggs can continuously run the top, not shred that right front tire as much, but look at how much it's hurting him. If I were Garrett Spriggs, I would almost start going down to the bottom now. Cut off that clean air for the 42 of EJ Luna. Make him search around, have to use a different line, put him in dirty air, try to make him get tight. Oh, and by the way, we got pit stops starting right now. Curtis Noble, Charlie Bass, they're in right now on lap with 29 laps to go.
There they go. 88, 94 on pit road. Lap number 91, 29 laps remaining in this event. And this is going to put them right just in that middle of the road, so to speak, between the restart lap and then the laps to go left in this race. So this will run him 29 laps to the end. Mark Sherwood, the 44, he's going to give up third place. He's on pit road, going off strategy from his teammate, the 42. So I wonder what that call looks like between the two teammates trying to get the advantage over one another. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe try to secure that really good finish with one of the team trucks. We'll see which one plays out more. We're on board here with the 97. That's Bradley Berry. Moves up to P4 after the cycling trucks right now. Danny White right behind him there, the 64. As we're getting closer and closer to 20 lap to go mark, Jason.
Yeah, and I think right now the big talking point for us that's going to be in the back of our minds is Mark Sherwood. I think that is the absolute right strategy for him, running P3, not too far off of his teammate for the time being until he had that little slide off turn number 2. He's going to blend back up into traffic. Now it's going to be a thing for him to make sure those tires get up to temperature, don't slide them too much. Oh, and make sure you don't race these lap trucks too hard. So we'll see where he ends up. The question will be also EJ Luna, Garrett Spriggs. When will they pit? You can see right now getting a little bit dicey here for Mark Sherwood as he tries to move up through the field, goes to the inside of his Lone Star Racing teammate, and he is slicing and dicing his way up here off pit road.
Speaking of big moments, Bradley Berry on the front straightaway there on lap 95. Just passing the start-finish line, that truck lost so much grip. He almost slammed the door of the 64 before they got to turn number 1. Thankfully, no contact was found. Nerd TV replay. Let's see if Dustin can grab it here. Here we go. Front straightaway. Here goes 64 to the inside. Watch the 97.
Oh, big time loose.
It's kind of a weird camera angle to pick that out, but man, the view I had, he had a big save. Nerd TV rewind. Let's see if we can get like a backward shot of this somehow. Here we go. Just look how loose that one is. Out of nowhere, the tight truck gets loose. I was kind of surprised by that.
Yeah. And Brad Berry, he's into the pits right now. We'll talk about some other things too, but you know, the thing is too, you gotta think Danny White nearly could have hit him, but I think great awareness, great piece of driving to keep in mind that the 97 was up there. Good that those two guys did not come together to cause a caution. But guess who pit while we were looking at the Nerd TV replay? EJ Luna and Curtis Noble pitted together. Or rather, no, EJ Luna pitted lap 95, Curtis Noble lap 91. I believe it was Garrett Spriggs. Garrett Spriggs, my apologies. They pit together, and now they're trying to run each other down. Garrett Spriggs, though, is 2 seconds back from EJ Luna, looking here at the live timing leaderboard on our Nerd TV end. So, boy, oh boy, Jeremy, this is really going to be a strategy race all the way here, coming down to nearly 20 laps to go.
That's a big fall off there. 2 seconds when they came down pit road when they were essentially nose to tail. So a huge advantage to the 42. DJ Honeycutt still remains out this time as he completes lap number 98. 22 laps remaining in the red, white, and blue 180 for the opening race of the opening season of OTSS Select Series with the C-Class trucks here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. We just got a handful of trucks left to come down pit road. Going to do a quick ad read here from Brez Coffee Company. If you're looking for a fun flavor that the nerds officially have on deck with BrezCoffeeCo.com, the Sugary Sweet Joystick. It's a churro flavored coffee. You mix it with some apple caramel creamer or some vanilla or whatever you want to do, and this flavor is top notch with some of the best beans that can run. It's a medium blend, by the way, too, so nothing too strong, nothing too light. Great flavor, and you're going to use the promotion code SUPERNERD to save you a little bit of money at checkout. But that's BrezCoffeeCo.com. Just search the word nerd for the flavor and it pops up.
That sounds pretty good. I could use me some coffee right about now, especially every morning. I've been a caffeine addict, pretty much coffee guy now the last handful of years. But man, oh man, I have not had coffee. Yeah, I know, right? It's like the older I'm getting, I keep consuming more and more coffee. And Jeremy, remember we were just talking about how EJ Luna and Garrett Spriggs, they're about 2 seconds apart. Well, now they've kind of closed it up a little bit. We saw right before we got off these guys, they were right next to each other. Now as they've gone through lap traffic, it has separated them a little bit, but only by about 4 or 5 car lengths. Here comes Garrett Spriggs to the inside of Curtis Noble, down to the bottom. Oh, and what a slide job there, almost coming off turn 2. Just squeezes in front of his teammate now as they head into turn 3. Laps are winding down, Jeremy. I'm wondering who's going to try to stay out and stretch it. Very well could be DJ Honeycutt, who's our race leader for the time being.
As they're still cycling through, waiting for this man, the 15, to come down pit road. Looks like 77. Christopher Harrington, he's coming down pit road. He's 1 lap down. Here's your pit stops The last one's 39, 39, 38, 50 for Keith Vaughn. And then 37 for Abram Ghost. And then everybody else. 4 tires, fresh, 6 laps or more back behind them. So the difference in laps is about 30 on average, 30, 35. So these guys, Jason, with under 20 laps to go, they're at a huge disadvantage. You can't make it on fuel, I don't think, right? I mean, you possibly can. Maybe you can. I guess they had a 15 to 20 lap variance on the opening sequence of green flag stops earlier on. If you pit now with 18 to go, I think you gave up the race win. So do you think they're just stretching it all the way?
I think you're going to have to at this point. Why would you pit with 17 laps to go? I think that these guys are just going to try to run it till it's dry, and they are all running down DJ Honeycutt. You see Danny White there in second. Donnie Honeycutt about 5 seconds back. So right now, if this race were to end currently, this is the battle for the win. It's DJ Honeycutt and Danny White. I don't know, Jeremy, personally, if they're going to be able to make it all the way. They might have to stop. You look back at our guys who had some pit stops recently, EJ Luna, Garrett Spriggs, they're basically side by side, I think, nearly with one another. They are very, very close together for the time being, it looked like on our end. But no, they are just separated by about a truck length. So if everybody can stretch it and they can't make it, this is the battle for the win. And you see Spriggs running it outside, nearly hits the wall off too. He's there, and he's going to make a move to the inside, Jeremy, into 3.
Keith Vaughn gives up 4th place to come down pit road, and here's the really fast 2 trucks. Garrett with the strong short run, EJ Luna with the strong long run. And right now, EJ is fighting and trying to hold Spriggs back as best as he can. Because, once he gets out there, it's going to be tough to get back around him with only 15 laps to go. EJ's got to have to fight hard, see what he can't do. They were 20 seconds back. Now they're all the way to 16, so they're approaching really fast. But when they're running side by side like this, I don't know. Contact!
Oh, they make contact. Oh, and I think Luna might have gotten a little too loose, thought he was in the wall. And I was just about to say right there, Jeremy, that Garrett Spriggs, A+ driving move. The contact, not so much, but right there, A+ move, taking away the line from the 42 machine to make sure he couldn't arc it going through 3 and 4. He took that middle lane away so he could arc it himself, takes the lead away. That might be the move that wins him the race if he could just pull away from EJ Luna here with less than 13 to go.
And oh man, it is heating up right here. This, like you said, potentially could be for the race win if they can get back to it. Now, since they're single file, that they can focus on the racing line and charge ahead to the race leader. If we get another image of potentially the 42, 25, 81, somewhere in that field compared to the race leader, we're going to see what that variance in time looks like. Last time by 31.9 for EJ to a 33.1. That's a 1.4. Second and a half a lap. They're currently back, 12 and a half seconds. And we got how much laps? 12 laps to go.
This is gonna be tight.
They're gonna plateau. You can't run that same variance every single lap. They're gonna plateau, but at what point does that happen? But they're side by side again. This is not helping them.
I was just about to say, Jeremy, the thing that really is going to help out Danny White is the fact that these two are side by side. They are just burning their tires. Oh, we got a wreck in the pits down there.
The 99.
Who was that? Oh boy,
It's
not been his night.
Todd. Yeah, I came in hot. Sorry to cut you off. He came in hot, got loose, and spun it into pit road. At least a little slide action there, right in front of EJ and Garrett Spriggs. And bonk. Oh, thankfully he hit that part, not the cutout section. That would have ended his night. But a little damage to the 99.
Yeah, and the thing is too, Jeremy, going back on what we were talking about, those two are side by side. They are slowly but surely eating away at their tires. EJ Luna has made quick work of Garrett Spriggs over the last 2 laps. Now he's starting to pull away from him by about 0.4 of a second, or rather not 0.4 of a second, my bad, by about a tenth or so. Not a tenth, a second. Gosh, I can't get my words together. It's just so exciting. 10 laps to go. I don't know if he's going to be able to get there, but now that he's not battling with Garrett Spriggs, Jeremy, I think it's doable for Danny White, but I also think it's doable for EJ Luna. It's so hard to choose.
They just gained a second and a half, almost that lap. 9 laps to go. The difference is 8.8. Remember, at 12 laps to go, it was 12.5. Now it's 8 and 8.8. So it's basically on average there, slightly falling off, but still very doable depending on if he can hold single file the rest of the way and not have to worry about any traffic as we continue to focus on that. Your top 5 right now, Danny White in the 64. 2 seconds back of that is Donnie Honeycutt in the 22. Third place, the final podium position at this time, DJ Honeycutt in the 15. And then, of course, the 2 we've been talking about, EJ Luna in the 42, 81, Garrett Spriggs. That's currently your top 5. And let's go through 6 through 10 while we got him. Curtis Noble in the 88, 44, Mark Sherwood, 97, Bradley Miner. Number 8, Alex Zirkle. In the 10th place, the number 7, John Border. That's your Nerd TV Top 10 recap with under 10 laps to go.
Jeremy, I hate to be the guy to rain on Danny White's parade, but man, oh man, EJ Luna is flying. He is more than a second faster a lap. It was 2 seconds not even that long ago. I think Danny White started to pick up the pace just a little bit. 7 laps to go, though. Now make it 6 this time by at the line. Oh, and by the way, as Dustin pans the camera, Donnie Honeycutt, and he is starting to run down Danny White slowly but surely. So this very well could be a battle for the win. I don't pick your weapon here. You got EJ Luna, you got Donnie Honeycutt, or Danny White. Jeremy, it's so hard to tell if EJ Luna is going to get to them. I just don't know if he's going to have enough time.
If he had open track, yes, but he's got to battle DJ and Donnie Honeycutt here for podium positions. Looks like the 15 is going to go to the outside and essentially just let the 42 by. Very respectable move. He could have easily battled that top 3 to talk to us nerds here in the booth. Less than 5 laps away at this point, but he gives it up quickly, knowing the speed differential. 3.8 seconds was the gap last time with 5 to go. The 22, you see him on your screen, little bounce of the wall. Off turn 3, tight on entrance, gets a good launch, still on exit.
He's going to get
side
that.
by side. At the gap that time, 3.8 down to 2.5 with 4 laps to go.
I think he's going to get there, but Jeremy, look at also who's going to get there. Donnie Honeycutt is right to the rear bumper of Danny White coming off turn number 2, but he had to check up big time, nearly ran into the back of the 64, and because of those 2 making near contact, Jeremy, EJ Luna, 1.7 seconds back. He is right there. I don't see any way that they are not going to be able to hold off EJ Luna unless they somehow, some way are able to battle him and have a miracle happen.
Danny White needs this battle here. 22 stuck on the outside with the 72. Not for position, but Jonathan Gaston 2 laps down, playing a factor in how this race is going to end up. Here on lap 118, 2 laps to go this time at the line. And once the camera pans to the back side of these, or the front side of these trucks, you see the 42. There he is, top of the screen, 2 laps to go. We got a cluster of trucks, 3 miles left.
2 laps to go, and Luna has ran down the leaders. Less than a second is between him and Danny White, who is still holding off Donnie Honeycutt, who rips the top. Oh, White really loose off too. That's going to help out EJ Luna, but also Donnie Honeycutt moves down to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side. Going into turn 3, Jeremy coming to the white flag. Oh my goodness! And the 42 of Luna, he's got lap traffic.
Nerd TV, white flag, 1 lap to go, 1.5 miles now less remaining. The 22 stabs deep into the corner, has to check up. Now 3 wide down the back straightaway.
Oh
Lap traffic still playing a factor. Here's EJ Luna, has to throw it in deep here to try to pass the 64 to the back bumper. He has to slide. He's blocked by the 22. Danny slides loose. And EJ Luna is going to take home the checkered flag on the final lap pass.
Oh my goodness. What a finish. First time back with y'all in over a year. First time with the new league here with us for Nerd TV. And oh my goodness, Jeremy, did I or did I not call it about having no stages earlier coming all the way down to the wire?
Nobody needs stages. Not a thing. Doesn't need to happen. Let the race naturally play out. And look at that beautiful thing there. Charlotte Motor Speedway. These trucks, these drivers. What a way to open up not just the season, but the whole entire league itself. OTSS Select Series here at the trucks. Doing work, putting in some magic. Great show for the fans. The drivers loved it. And this man almost didn't have the best call of the night, but it took some lap traffic, it took some side-by-side racing, and a really strong long run from EJ to pick up the first checkered flag of the league.
And you know something, Jeremy, I think right there, when we get a chance to talk to Danny White here in the booth, I know exactly what I'm going to ask him, and I want to know if his answer is going to be the same. It is why he didn't check up on the bottom more than he probably should have. I know he would have risked probably the 42 getting into his rear bumper and shipping him, but at the same time, I feel like the 42 would have had no choice but to either do that, wreck him, and possibly, get a penalty, or risk it and say, hey, I'm going to back up my corner more than I should and let the 42 wash up. I think if Danny White would have done that, I think Danny White would have had it made off 4.
It could have been, man. He was wicked loose those last couple of laps, which also played to why the 42 was able just to sneak in. And that 22, Mr. Johnny Honeycutt threw it all at turn number 1 to try to get underneath the 64, and that also checked it up. That just created a fantastic finish. Here's the unofficial results here, by the way, which is going to be sponsored by Empower Ed here. And there's your Nerd TV podium. 1, 2, 3, EJ Luna, Danny White, Donnie Honeycutt. Those 3 in the Nerd TV booth. Here after we're done going off the driver list here. 4th through 10th, Garrett Spriggs, DJ Honeycutt, Curtis Noble, Mark Sherwood, Alex Zirkle, Bradley Berry, and John Board around at the top 10. Who you got for 11th through 20th?
11th through 20th, you have Charlie Bass in the number 94. A little bit of a rough night for him there in 11th. Dustin Franklin comes home in 12th. And you have James Robbins 13th. 14th, you have Keith Vaughn. 15th is Ambram Ghostin. Sorry if I butchered the name. 16th, you got Corey Jones. 17th was Jonathan Gaston. 18th, Dave Harrington. 19th, Chris Harrington. And then top 20 was Stephen Hayes in that number 13, your pole sitter. Very unfortunate for him tonight. And to round out your 26 truck lineup, you had Bobby Mantle in 21st, Nolan Todd 22nd, and then Tyler Honeycutt. Tough night for him after getting right hooked into the outside wall earlier in the night. He'll come home 58 laps down, 23rd. 24th, you have Roland Collette in the number 9, who had a tough night as well early on. Brad Miner and Edward Kimmel round out the field.
Well, there we go. 26 truck lineup. We're going to go commercial break. We're going to pick up our top 3. And actually, nope, it looks like they are already on top of things. We're going straight into a post-race show coming up as we're going to get our top 3 pulled up here. Donnie Honeycutt's going to be first on docket, 3rd through 1st. This is presented by Victory Fuel. And here we go, right into it. Cameras on. Donnie Honeycutt being pulled. Donnie P3 to open up the season, man. Congratulations on a fantastic run.
Thanks, Jeremy.
A lot of different strategies. I was kind of surprised we had a 20-lap variance on the green flag stops in the middle of the race. And then at the end, still, there was the one stopper versus the no stopper. And, man, you threw it all at the 64 in that final lap. What was your thoughts in the final few laps there?
Yeah, a little frustrated. When we took the green flag after that caution, I got up to 2nd place, and at that time I realized I was 6 laps short on fuel. So I started backing it down, fell back to about 9th place, and just saving fuel that whole run. Ran the guys all the way back down, and then anyway, I'll be nice. The lap car should have got out of the way. They seem to help the 64 there, and caused me to slow down a little more, and I don't think EJ would ever caught me if I could have battled Danny one on one and got on through there and pretty clean like that. I could have kept EJ behind me too, but anyway, just a little frustrated. But all in all, other than the very beginning of the race, before the race ever started, we had that big issue with Stephen Hayes. His screen went black and caused a big mess, and so we had to do some pace laps there to try to let some guys to fix their damage and everything. But all in all, like I said, pretty good race. I like the long green flag run, so that was fun.
Yeah, and Donnie, obviously, I know you're frustrated finishing third here tonight. You had a really good chance to win it right there. If the lap trucks weren't in the picture there at the end, we saw you running the outside a lot, but I feel like it had to do with the lap trucks. Would you have chosen the bottom with the tires, or would you have gone to the top there to try to battle with Danny?
Oh, bottom, absolutely. I was pretty fast on that bottom there, and I can stick it pretty good, even with the old tires. But yeah, they got down there and started battling to the inside of me, and I couldn't make the runs I wanted to.
Well, good job tonight, sir. Your team at Ghost Motorsports, fantastic job all the way through. Great performance. Time is yours, man. Any shout outs you want to give out before we let you go here tonight?
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. Ghost Motorsports, my teammates there, enjoy running with those guys. My mom, my brother, all our family friends that watches our broadcast. You guys for the broadcast. I can't wait to go back and look at the broadcast. I know you guys do a good job. I've watched your broadcast in the past for other leagues, so can't wait to go back and watch that. Everybody that showed up, everybody in the league, for the most part, ran pretty clean. I think we got a bunch of great guys here, and looking forward to the rest of the season. And also we got our sponsors that sponsor us here. I'd like to shout out to them, and just can't wait for the rest of the season.
There you go, man. All right, congratulations on your strong third place finish. Have a good rest of the night. We'll catch you
All right,
next Tuesday.
all right, appreciate it, guys.
Yes, sir. All right, there we go. Donnie Honeycutt, P3 tonight. Now we got Danny White next on the docket here. Get him pulled up from Old Dogs Racing. Number 64. Danny, congrats on the very strong run there, all the way from 14th to 2nd.
Yeah, man, that was a fun one.
That was such a great race, man. Charlotte never lets down. I don't know about this track. It's just, it always produces great racing, and you guys did not let down. Walk us through the race a little bit. There's a lot of loose trucks, a lot of tight trucks, some good solid racing, and a lot of strategies. So, what was your plan coming in, and how'd you get to P2 tonight?
Plan coming in was just kind of lay back, bunch of new guys, so kind of learn who's going to do what the best I could. And we had that first really long run, and I was thinking then that this could turn into a fuel race. And then the last caution was pretty close, and I was like, well, we're going to give it a shot. And pretty much clutched that whole last run and was actually shutting it off the last 20 laps, just trying to save enough. And got lucky with P2. I thought I had a win there. I didn't even see EJ and my relative. I thought I was just racing Donnie, and then he just came out of nowhere. And I was loose coming off, trying to gas it up to stay with him, and I'd had nothing for him.
And Danny, by the way, congratulations on finishing P2 tonight. I know you wanted one spot better, man, because we couldn't believe it that you guys were able to stretch it as far as you did, both on fuel and also tires, to say the least. But there into turn 3 on the last lap, knowing you had the lap trucks, you had Donnie, and you also had EJ right behind you, what more, or rather, what differently would you have done there heading into turn 3, if anything, there to try to hold off EJ?
Honestly, if I'd have stayed off it a little bit longer and tried to hold it on the bottom just to stop his run, but I was going to gas it up and try to beat him out the corner, and I just got a little loose, and that was all he needed. I mean, he had what 20, 30 lap fresher tires. It was it was really, I don't think there was anything I could do there.
Yeah, I'm sure that thing was driving on ice skates with the really old tires, man. Well, we've been calling you now for a little bit here in the nerd booth, and I'm glad to be able to talk with you here to start off this season. Congrats on the strong finish there with your team, and floor is yours, man. Any thoughts
Hey,
before we let you go?
yeah, man. Hey, I appreciate what you guys do. Y'all are the best in the business, man. Every race y'all bring it. I watch y'all broadcasts when it's not our league. I mean, you guys do an excellent job. Shout out to the league. You know, the Honeycutts have done an awesome job putting this whole thing together. They spent a lot of time, a lot of planning to put together a strong league, and I'm really excited for what we're going to do this year. And then my teammates at Old Dogs. I race with a great group of guys, and it's always fun to hop into Discord with them every week and strategize and try to figure out how we're going to get through these races.
Yeah, 100%. Appreciate the thoughts, man. Awesome job. Second place tonight. Maybe we'll talk to you next week, but we'll see you next Tuesday.
All right, we'll see y'all. Thank you.
Yes, sir. All right, and then now to get to the Lone Star Racing driver, the number 42, EJ Luna in the victory lane to start off the 2026 OTSS series. EJ, congrats, man, on a fantastic finish.
Hey, Jeremy, Jason, appreciate it. How about that?
Yeah, how about that, man? That was the call. The call was to take the pit stop, run these guys down, and literally took you to the very last lap to not pass just one, two, like 4 trucks in like a 2-mile stretch. What was your thoughts coming down to the final few?
Man, that was nerve-wracking. I kind of had a feeling these guys were saving fuel, so I was just pushing it, trying to push to the end just to reach them, and we got caught up in traffic. And once I got up to that pack of 4, I was like, all right, how are we gonna do this? And you know what? I just kept my foot in it, try to be methodical about it, and somehow just got past Danny out of turn 4. That was nuts.
Yeah, EJ, by the way, congratulations, man, on winning the first race of the 2026 season. We saw right there, obviously, the lap trucks playing a huge factor there late in the game. Donnie says really held him up big time. He says that he felt like he could battle Danny. What was your reaction with, obviously, not only did you have 2 guys on older tires, but you also had 2 lap trucks in it. What was going through your mind once you caught the back end of that field?
To be honest, I was pretty scared, man. I didn't know what kind of moves I was gonna make. I was looking for every opening that I could. Sure enough, they opened up. I picked the right lane. I took them 3 wide coming out of 2, and somehow I caught Danny into turn 3, and I stuck it on the bottom and got home to the checkered.
There you go, man. And just give us a little insight there because you are teammates with Mr. Stephen Hayes in the 13. Not to take it back all the way to that blunder there before the green flag. Any insight on what happened there?
Oh man, I feel bad for everybody at the beginning. So apparently, his screen went blank or black, I believe. He was trying to get it set to full screen, and I guess hit the wrong button. And well, yeah, he drifted up because he didn't really know where he was going. And yeah, apologies to everybody on his behalf.
10-4 on that. Appreciate the info there. Congrats, man. Awesome stuff. You produced helped produce one of the best races I've seen. I can't say this year, obviously, but I would say maybe in the past year and a half. There's just so many strategies and have everybody all grouped up to the end, making a crazy pass there. Multiple trucks on the last lap. Congrats, dude. And floor is yours. Any final thoughts before we do let you go tonight?
Yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to my teammates in Lone Star. I want to give a shout out to my family, my brother, my dad, my mom. Thank you all so much for watching, supporting. Nerded Twos, man. Glad to have you guys broadcasting for us again. Dustin, you're doing some work over there, man. Don't think we forgot about you. But yeah, thanks to everybody for watching. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. Hope to see y'all.
Yes, sir. We will be there, and we'll see you next week, man.
See you guys. Have a good one.
All right. You too. EJ Luna, driver of the 42, taking home the first checkered flag in OTSS history, naming the books as a winner. Jason, I think everybody was a winner watching this race. What a fantastic event to open up the season.
Yeah, man. I'm first off, I just want to say thank you to both yourself and also Dustin for welcoming me back in open arms. I know you guys always said I could. I'm glad that I'm finally in that position where I feel like I can, in a way, get back to it. It was a long time ago. Not too very long ago, though, where I was having the time of my life here, and I'm glad to be back doing it again, obviously. New times, different age, different place, different year. So, I mean, here's the 2026. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait to call, obviously, this league and our Thursday league we got coming up here in just some weeks ahead. Should be fun. Dustin's always got all the great production stuff. I was talking to him the other day in our meeting saying, oh, this is amazing. This is a huge step up from what I last saw. Jeremy, you're still the GOAT, man. Love you, dude. it was awesome, obviously, to be back here tonight. But not only to be back here tonight, but wow, what a fantastic first race. You had drama, you had great racing, you had strategy, you had one hell of a finish for our first race of 2026. Absolute banger. You had one of the closest calls of the year, possibly already off turn number 2 there. Just pretty much everything you would want tonight as a race fan. And these guys definitely showed up. I'm looking forward for the next 11 races here they got this year.
100%. Dustin, you're on camera here. How was the new button system layout you built? Basically from the ground up, bunch of different work, bunch of different things you got the toggle back and forth with now, and you nailed it. You said in the pre-race before we went live, you said you always mess up something. I don't think you messed up anything. How was it on your end?
And I usually do. Usually on the off season, we come into our first race, and it's always the pre-broadcast jitters. And I always forget something, and I was double and triple checking everything. I don't know if it's just the idea of having the Dream Stream team back together again that just made the juices flow or what. But I mean, it was an awesome show. A fantastic opening race, inaugural race for the OTSS Select Series presented by Empowered Ed Research Institute. And what a finish, man. I was on the edge of my seat, hitting the buttons, trying to get all the shots for everybody out there. So I'm glad to be back in it. Glad to have you guys back in the booth. It was awesome.
2 times a week, man. Glad you had fun with it. Me and Jason did as well. Be back 9 p.m. Eastern every single Tuesday. We're going to be calling the OTSS action every single race of the entire 2026 season. And then, as Jason said just a little earlier ago, we're going on Thursdays as well, 2 times. That one's sometime early February. Make sure you subscribe to both YouTube and Twitch. We'll have it live streaming on both platforms every single week. But it's that time to close this thing out. Appreciate all the partners for joining in. We got some new ones. We got some old familiar faces. And you guys have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Get your nerd on. Dustin, what you got for him?
As always, it's not goodbye. It's just till next time. Stay nerdy.
Touchscreen and louder to the range. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber moves roll with a fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines climb. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Turn the wheel, feel the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Turn the wheel through the breakneck roll. Sim racers tearing through the thunder soul. Gear shifts crack like a lightning storm. Digital warriors breaking the norm. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Heartbeats pounding, engines cry. Best broadcast under the virtual sky. Through each hairpin, a battle unfolds. Victory forged in the fire of the bold. Neon dreams fuel the tracks we tear. No TV shows us who dares to care. Fight to fight, we live the speed. No TV feeds our endless need. Screaming louder, giving range. Fuel burns in the glow of the pixel blaze. The rubber is rolling with a fist clenched tight. Your TV lights up the endless night. Fight to fight, we live the speed, not